Okay, section 9.3, solving quadratics. So here is my first problem. We're going to do a couple of these. And we kind of skipped 9.3, but I want to go back to it because a couple of things come up here that we need to talk about. So I'm going back to it, but it'll be a nice, I think it'll be a nice lesson for today. So let's start. If there's only an x squared and there's not an x, we don't have to worry about factoring or anything like that. We can solve for that x directly. So we're going to start by adding 32. And then 2x squared equals 32. Divide by 2. So x squared comes out to 16. Now, we did some inverse operations to get rid of subtracting, we added. To get rid of multiplication, we divide. To get rid of squaring, we square root. So I get x equals 4. The square root of 16 is 4. But I could have a couple of different solutions here because if some number squared is 16, 4 will work, or negative 4 would also work. Okay? Because 4 times 4 is 16, but negative 4 times negative 4 is also 16. So a lot of times I will write this as x equals plus or minus 4. I will use this symbol to say, well, this could be positive or negative. Either one will do. Okay? If you get a radical, like if this was the square root of 15 here, just put the square root of 15 here. So a quick example of that. If I said x squared equals 15, and I solved that by taking the square root, I would just say x equals plus or minus square root 15. I wouldn't make it a decimal. The book makes these a decimal a lot, and that is not appropriate. The questions on your UC don't always ask for that. And later on in math, you will not ever do that. So leave it as square root 15. Don't make decimals. Okay, a couple other cases here. I have x squared plus 3 equals 3. So we start by subtracting 3. And this case is special because when you get 0, 0 is neither positive or negative. So when you take the square root, it just equals 0. You can't have plus 0 or negative 0 because it's just 0. There's no such thing. Okay, so sometimes you get that one solution. Okay, and this last one, I'll give it away. There's going to be no solution here, and let me show you why. Something's going to happen that's going to anger mathematics. So start by subtracting the 15, and then divide by 3. Okay, so my next step here would be to square root. But you cannot square root a negative, at least not until Algebra 2. We need a whole different number system to square root a negative. Okay? Cannot square root a negative. So I'll put a circle with a slash. That's going to be my symbol for no solution. And the reason is, if any number times itself, will always give you a positive. A negative times a negative is positive, and a positive times a positive is, of course, positive. So when I have a squared equals a negative, you just can't do it. You cannot square root a negative. Okay, a couple of try-its here. Yes, great. Go ahead and try it on that one right there.